everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, today we are not actually talking about a seasonal anime episode. Oh my goodness, I know, it's something a little bit different. Normally, on these days, we would be talking about Stand My Hero's Piece of Truth, but I decided today I wanted to shake it up, do something a little bit different since, I've been talking about a seasonal anime episode every day for the last couple months, I think, so I felt like it was time to kind of break that up a little bit. I was hoping to make Tuesdays, or actually I believe when this comes out it'll be Wednesday, so Wednesdays will be sort of like the random video during the week, just something different to kind of shake things up a little bit, and to keep me from, burning out on the seasonal anime hype train, because you can burn out pretty easy, so, this will kind of serve as a way to kind of give myself a break. Also, this doesn't mean that you're never going to see a Stand My Heroes video on the channel again or anything like that. I will likely check back in with the series down the line at some point, maybe a couple episodes from now, maybe next week, I have no idea. Wednesdays from now on is just going to be my random video during the day. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into your guys' questions. So our first question comes from our friend Mr. A, who asks, who is your favorite character in My Hero Academia? Well folks, I think you guys can already probably tell from the thumbnail, you guys have likely known about this for ages and ages. Yes, indeed, my favorite character is none other than the boy himself, Tenya Ida. Yeah, I'm sure I got a couple people with that thumbnail, but no, my favorite character is, well, maybe I shouldn't say favorite character. And the thing with me is my favorite character in My Hero tends to fluctuate like a lot. I typically don't like having favorites or top anything because my opinion changes like really rapidly. But I'd say right now, if it came to like just the students, if we're only talking about Class 1A specifically, then my favorite would be Ida. He's normally either in my top 3 or my number 1 because Ida's just a good lad. He's a good boy. He's very by the rules. He actually reminds me of one of my favorite Danganronpa characters, but we'll get into that later because we actually got a Danganronpa question, which, yay, I love Danganronpa. But yeah, he reminds me of a certain Danganronpa character. He's very by the books, very by the rules. He sort of reminds me of Kinro from Dr. Stone. He's like the rules are rules type of character. Also a Megane character. And also just like Kinro from Dr. Stone. And I don't know, his story of rival turned friend but still being a rival is really sweet. I loved his whole thing with Stain. I actually consider Stain to be more of an Ida antagonist than I consider him to be like a Deku or Shoto antagonist. Don't get me wrong, Todoroki and Izuku are clearly more main character-y than Ida is, but Ida, like, for me, that's Ida's villain. Like, in the same way that, like, Spider-Man fights Kingpin, but really Kingpin is a Daredevil villain, even though he's more likely known for being in a lot of Spider-Man stories, he is a Daredevil villain. Like, for me, I know that he is most likely going to be paired with Deku, as, like, that's, like, Deku's villain that Deku and the gang took down. But really, to me, that Stain is Ida's villain, because the whole Stain arc kicks off with what happens with Ida's older brother. Ida's just a good dude. He's just a good, genuine dude. He's my favorite of the bunch. He's wacky in how serious he is, if that makes any sense. Like, he is so serious that it goes full circle and becomes comedic. Of Class 1A, I'd say Ida's my favorite. But in general, my favorite My Hero character, I don't know. Like I said, like even with Class 1A, as much as I love Ida, he's not always my number 1. It really depends on what's going on at the time. I'd say right now, my favorite character is probably, I'll say Aizawa for right now, because of all the characters, Aizawa's the one that I'm like, he's a good dude. He's one of the few characters in the show that I would actually consider like husbando material, just because, I don't know. I like a project, I guess. Moving right along, we got a question from a longtime friend of the channel, ALXW, and they say, now JoJo, why would you need 3 barrels of hydrochloric acid? This is a Wendy's. Okay, well, this video's going real well. No, but seriously though, 10 out of 10 reference. Also, Wendy's top tier fast food joint. Come at me. Up next, we have another question from ALXW, which is a surprise. I wonder if anybody else is gonna ask multiple questions. Anyway, ALXW asks, but also, are we gonna have a Sword and Shield playthrough? Missing the good old days of Plurglsnu, the God Slayer. So for those of you who do not know, I actually streamed all of Pokemon Sun and Moon back when those games came out, and that was an absolute blast. And if you do not know who Plurglsnu is, we met Plurglsnu very early on. He was, I believe, one of the first Pokemon we caught back when he was a Grubbin. And I had him as a Charjabug for the longest time because I thought Charjabug was adorable, and I really didn't want him to evolve into a Vikavolt because I thought, and I feel stupid now, but I was like, ew, Vikavolt, like, nah, that's not for me. It's ugly, I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. I've totally 180'd on that, and Vikavolt is easily, far and away, the coolest Mon from Sun and Moon, and easily one of my top 10, possibly top 5 Pokemon overall. I absolutely love this thing, and to understand this, in fact, ALX, I hope it's cool. I will put a link in the description. ALXW actually clipped part of the stream that we did, and in this moment, we're going up against, I believe the mon's name is Necrozma. It's basically the final big boss battle you have during Sun and Moon, and you go up against Necrozma, and I was so dumb. I ran into this thing with I think I had like no super potions or no revives. I don't think I had either, honestly. No Ultra Balls, no nothing to kind of like save time. I don't super remember what was going on, but I just remember we had gone up against this dude once and he wiped the party, and I was like, dang it. And then I rushed in without thinking, so I didn't go to the mart. And everybody in the chat was like, oh, we're gonna lose again. JoJo, come on, man. And I was like, dang it. And I was feeling stupid. And I don't know if, listen, I know it's just a video game, but I truly think and feel that Plurglesnoo, our boy Plurgy, knew what was happening. He knew the dangers that were at hand. And so he goes up. He's my last Mon. Or I think he was I think he was my last Mon. And we go up against Necrozma, and he just one-shots Plurgy. Like, it's not even fun. Oh no, he two-shots Plurgy. And on the so he hits him for like half HP, and I'm like, oh man, this is it. We're gonna get wiped again. Well, at least I can go to the mart and get like potions and actually stand a chance of fighting this thing. And then he hits Plurgy again, and it was one of those like, Plurglesnoo held on out of love for its trainer. And I was like, aw, Plurgy, that's sweet, but I mean, like, you know, we're still gonna lose. And then Necrozma hits him again, and he withstands the hit again. And I'm thinking, like, what are the odds of that? He had 2 hits. Well, let's try him again. And then we kept, and no joke, like, I'm not kidding. Again, link in the description to the little clip from the video, which also has, I believe it has the Ultra Instinct theme, or like from Dragon Ball Super playing over top of it. And honestly, it was well deserved, because Plurglesnoo went Ultra Instinct that day, because he, at 1 HP, tanked 6 hits from Necrozma. Using its big move, 6 hits, tanked them at 1 HP each time and took down Necrozma. Took down a god. Plurglesnoo is just the best. Plurgy, I love you to pieces. I saw that, I believe either Vikavolt or Charjabug or Grubbin, somebody is in Sword and Shield, which means Plurgy, if I can bring you to Sword and Shield right away, then heck yes, man, I am bringing you with me, Plurgy. I still love you so much. You are sitting in the Pokemon Bank right now. Plurgy, he's just the best. Yes, I still love Plurglesnoo. He's amazing. As for whether or not I am going to be streaming Sword and Shield, the answer is an absolute yes. I am definitely planning on streaming the whole thing, but I don't know if I want to stream it here on the channel or if I want to make a second channel, or if maybe I want to stream on Twitch. See, with Twitch, though, with Twitch, I'm nervous because if you don't know, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/JoJoTalksTooMuch, link in the description. And I don't really want to have people, because there's an option, I'm an affiliate on Twitch, so there's an option to sub there, but maybe if I can figure out a way to turn that off, then I would, because I would rather people just join us over on Patreon than join us on Twitch, or subscribe on Twitch, because I don't know who's like a subscriber on Twitch, and because I want to send you the Discord link so you can join us over on Discord. You see where it gets confusing. So I don't know if I'm going to stream it on Twitch or if I'm going to stream it on YouTube, but if I stream it on YouTube, I'm worried about getting like copyright claims, because if you don't know, like with a lot of video game stuff, a lot of audio and stuff like that, the music itself usually gets claimed by third-party companies who have nothing to do with Game Freak or Nintendo or anything like that. So with stuff like that, I worry about claims, I worry about strikes in particular. So I don't know if maybe I should make a second channel for that. Maybe like JoJo plays too much. I don't know. Something like that. A second channel of some kind. JoJo talks even more. I don't know. Leave me suggestions for second channel names, I suppose. And also, do let me know, would you guys rather me stream on Twitch or stream on YouTube? And if I do stream on Twitch, does anybody know how to turn that stuff off? That would be very helpful. But yes, Sword and Shield is happening. I'm excited. Day one, for sure. I just don't know where. Okay, and speaking of the Patreon, we have a lovely member of the T Squadron here asking a question. At Veridon Main asks, questions. Well, answers. No, I'm not gonna do the whole thing. Screw you. Very screw you for doing that to me. Veridon also asks another question. My goodness, it would be surprising if Veridon asked any more questions after this, huh? Anyway, Very asks, got any plans for doing anything with the Discord fam on stream or a fun night? Okay, so honestly, I was gonna try to surprise the Discord peeps with this, and if you don't know, we have a Patreon exclusive Discord, so for $1 a month, just $1 a month, that's less than a cup of coffee, you can help out the channel here, and you can join us over in the Patreon exclusive Discord. And over on Discord, I was hoping to do some games. I was gonna do like a monthly Discord night, and I wasn't sure which game to start with. I think we'll probably start with Quiplash, but I worry if the lag on my end, because I have awful Canadian internet. So I worry about the lag difference with Quiplash, so I don't know, maybe we'll do, what is that game? Dead by Daylight, because I own it, but I'm not a big fan of it. We'll see, but yes, I do want to do a Discord night. I want to like show off, like Patreon night, but like it would be for everybody, so anybody could watch it, but you can hop in the Discord with me and hop in the Discord's like little audio section, and you can actually be on the stream with me. So that's something that I've been wanting to do for a little while. I want to try to figure it out. Sometime in November, we're gonna do the first one and then kind of carry on from there. So yeah, if you're one of the glorious members of the T Squadron, get hype. Also, if you're in the T Squadron, be sure to let me know in the general section which games you would suggest we play. That would be cool. Veridon once again asks, beans? Ah, yes, beans. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you... I'm not going to finish that sentence. Veridon, please stop asking so many questions. Anyway, Veridon asks, any show this season you've stopped reviewing that you're still watching on your own time? Well, you see, that's actually kind of an interesting question, because it's sort of a spoiler for future plans I have with the channel. If you want to be surprised, you can jump ahead a couple seconds, but for those of you who don't care, when the Pokemon anime comes out, I'm going to be shuffling the list around, and I'm actually going to be dropping No Guns Life, Ahiro no Sora, and Stand My Heroes, though I do still plan to watch Ahiro no Sora, and I'm definitely going to be continuing to watch Stand My Heroes, and I'll likely make videos on those two shows again, but I don't really plan on making stuff for No Guns Life. And also, no, I'm not watching Babylon. I know everybody likes it, and yes, even I love that friggin' interrogation scene, it's fantastic, but the show itself just didn't grab me. I'm sorry. Oh my freaking goodness, Veridon once again asks, when is the What I'm Watching for Fall 2020 video coming out? Okay, no more questions from Veridon. Oh my goodness, it's actually a new question. Aureli Morales Jr. asks, what are your top 3 anime? Oh my goodness, that one is hard. I really should start actually linking to my anime list profile in my description box for the videos, because it actually might help people out to try to get an understanding of my taste in anime and why I might react a certain way. But I did this big stream where we went through my entire library, and I pretty infamously only have, I think maybe like 9 shows in what I would consider the S tier. So I'm trying to pick 3 out of the 9, and that's very hard. I guess for now, I will say that my top 3 anime would be... Ooh, this is hard, and I don't know which ones to pick. I don't know, they're all my babies. At this current moment in time, this could change tomorrow, this could change next week, I don't know, but my top 3 favorites would probably be Aka number 3. If you haven't seen Aka, which is unfortunately very likely, the show flew way under the radar, but yeah, Aka 13, it's fantastic. Aka would be number 3. Steins Gate number 2, and number 1 is obvious. Number 1 is free. And some people are gonna be like, what, really? If you haven't been watching the channel for a long time, welcome. Hi, I'm Fujoshi Trash, or Fudanshi Trash, and yes, Free is my favorite series ever, and my favorite is the most recent season, Dive to the Future. It's absolutely fantastic. Before you judge, actually go watch the show. It is friggin' phenomenal, especially this new season. That one is no question, and that will always be number 1. So that's not in question for me. That's always number 1. Everything else is sort of a battle. Everything else, like the rest of the top 9, like the 9 S-rank shows I have, sort of float in this like weird bubble where they're all number 2 or number 3, like at different times. But number 1 is always Free, just like my favorite movie of all time is always gonna be Lord of the Rings. Some things do remain constant, and some things are ever chaotic. Next question comes from @Kuratella, who asks favorite Danganronpa characters. They also say Kokichi, or we're having problems. Well, you're in luck, because Kokichi is actually one of my favorites, and I know some members of both the T-Squadron and just the good folks in general just cringed at that, but because a lot of you guys were along for the ride for me, because if you don't know, I actually caught up on Danganronpa, I believe, just after the anime ended. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. You guys might remember, if you're someone who's been with the channel for a long time. I think back before we even had like 1,000 subs, I believe. Yeah. Actually, I think I was watching it for like 800 subs or something as like a goal. But yeah, I think I caught up on it after the series had wrapped up the whole Hope's Peak Academy thing, and we were leading into V3. And so yeah, a lot of you guys were along for the ride with me on the whole V3 thing. You guys saw or experienced everything real time, because I think I was live tweeting the whole game. And yeah, you guys may know that I hated Kokichi at first, but the more time passes and the more I think about Kokichi as a character and like what his character was actually doing there, like the purpose of his character, like if you really analyze his character, he's really interesting, even though he's a little turd, but I love him to pieces, even though he's a disturber. But he's not my favorite character in V3. And just for the sake of not going over time, because I could gush about every single character from Danganronpa, like everybody, even the ones who you think that I wouldn't have things to gush about, I probably could. I genuinely think that even the characters who I hate, I still love to hate them. So yeah, I could go on and on about Danganronpa, but just to keep it like crunched for time, I'll now say my favorite character from each game, although I still haven't played Ultra Despair Girls, which I should get around to doing. But my favorite from that one would still be Genocider Jack anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. But my favorite from Danganronpa 1 is not actually Genocider Jack, but my favorite from Danganronpa 1, Ishimaru. Ishimaru is far and away my favorite character from Danganronpa 1. Again, no spoilers, but I just love this character to pieces for the same reasons that I like Ida, just my special boy. I just love him to pieces. I love everything about this character. He's just super fun. I love everything about this character. There's some story stuff that happens to him later, which is like odd, but I still liked what they did anyway, just because I like the character so much. But yeah, Ishimaru is easily my favorite from Danganronpa 1. Fuyuhiko is easily my favorite character from Danganronpa 2, and he is quite possibly, and I don't say this lightly because again, the cast of these games are absolutely fantastic. The cast is the reason you play the game. But no joke, I genuinely feel that Fuyuhiko is my favorite Danganronpa character in general. I love everything about this character, the pathos, the character arc, everything about him is fantastic. And he also happens to be part of one of my favorite Danganronpa ships, so that also kind of helps. But moving on, my favorite V3 character is easily Kaito Momota, Luminary of the Stars. Always gonna be between Gunta and Kaito for me for favorite V3 character, but yes, Kaito Momota is far and away my favorite character. He is both a character that I think is just fantastic. I absolutely love them, but also a character that even at my late 20s, I genuinely look up to Kaito. I think he's just a brilliant character. I admire his optimism. Everything about Kaito is just top tier. I'll try to get through the next couple questions as quickly as I can. So without further ado, we got another question from @DEvil, another member of the T Squadron. What are the top 5 anime on your must-watch list, like old anime that you haven't seen yet / haven't finished yet, that you're gonna watch next? Well, because you asked Evil, I could pander and say Hunter x Hunter, but I mean, honestly, there's so much with Hunter x Hunter. There's too many episodes. So I don't think it's gonna be Hunter x Hunter, but it's definitely in the top 5. I've been like chipping away at it. As for 4 other shows on my to-watch list, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna have to go check my mail. I will tell you in just a second. Oh, Kuroko no Basket, obviously. Yeah, that's probably my number 1. I can't believe I still haven't seen Kuroko no Basket yet, considering, like, I'm a big, I'm kind of a Fudanshi, and I actually really enjoy sports anime, even though I'm really not a sports guy. I think the only sports I watch are hockey, ice skating, or rather figure skating. I love the Olympics. And I also like pro wrestling, but I don't think that counts. But yes, 1000%. Everything about Kuroko no Basket tells me I'm gonna like it. I'm kind of shocked that I haven't finished it yet, so yeah, I gotta get to that. For my 3rd pick, I'm gonna say Shirobako, because I feel like every AniTuber swears by Shirobako, so. I'd also like to finish Shirokuma Cafe. I think I've seen like 2 or 3 episodes and I really, really like it, but it's also another show with like, not as long as Hunter x Hunter, but I think it has like 50 episodes, so. That one would take a while, so, I'll eventually check that one out. And, what's another one? Oh, Toradora is on this list. I still haven't seen Toradora. Everybody loves Toradora, and I have a feeling I will too. So I'll say Toradora. I really want to check out Toradora. That might be the 2nd show I watch after Kuroko no Basket, if I'm, like, totally honest. My real-life husbando, not really, but really, Kukulin, aka Dunwall Reviews, says, if you got hit by Truck-kun, what world would you most like to isekai into? Konosuba. It would mean that I finally get to unite with my main goddess, Aqua, even though she's a total dumbass. But yeah, I would finally get to hang out with my waifu, Aqua, who I love, even though, again, she's not the brightest bulb, but I like her anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna say Konosuba, just because Konosuba is always kind of depicted as being fun. Yeah, Konosuba just seems fun. I would isekai into Konosuba. Now I'm going to be very nervous when I cross the road. Moving along, Nanami Teru asks, will you think about watching the 2001 version of Fruits Basket now? Also, how do you feel about the JoJo Part 5 dub? Well, as for the Part 5 dub, I don't watch dubs. It's just not how I prefer to watch anime. Nothing against people who do watch dubs. It's just not for me. As for if I will watch the 2001 version of Fruits Basket, I really don't think that I will. Tell you what, if I ever meet up with Ami Yoshiko in real life, then I will ask Ami if she wants to like marathon the 2001 Fruits Basket anime. So you guys can tweet at Ami. It's totally Ami's fault now why I haven't watched the 2001 Fruits Basket anime, and that is going to be my excuse from now on. Ami, I'm sorry. Misami asks, is Given the best shonen ai? I really love Given, so it's certainly one of my favorites, but I don't know if it's one of the best shonen ai. I actually, you know what? I can, without a doubt, say that the best shonen ai of all time is Boy Loves Boys Love. Yeah, that's right. I just made that reference. Joey asks, what's your favorite food? And this one's easy. It's chicken nuggets. I could eat chicken nuggets out of the box like all day, every day. And yes, I do mean like the frozen dinner chicken nuggets. I know it's disgusting, but I could eat like an entire box to myself. They're fantastic. And finally, to round this video out, we have one last question from Veridin, who asks, should those watching this like, favorite, comment, and subscribe? I'm definitely not saying this at gunpoint. Ha 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 ha, Veridin. Yes, they definitely should. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching today's video. I had way more questions than I knew what to do with, so if I didn't get to your question, I apologize, but hopefully you still enjoyed it anyway. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Cue that outro. And on that note, everybody, that's gonna wrap up today's video. But before we take off, I want to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, Ginkotaku, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Omner Garamond, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Tristan, Verdin, and Westbourne Eastbred. A huge thank you to those of you who support the channel over on Patreon, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get over there, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. Thanks once again for checking out today's video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, then you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't gonna tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated. And if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.